Okay, so what if, like, two of the biggest, nicest stars out there, the ones who always seem totally squeaky clean, what if they were hiding this huge romance right under our noses, and then, bam, paparazzi pictures just blow the whole thing wide open?
Huh, sounds like something straight out of a movie script, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But that's pretty much what we're diving into today, this really unexpected thing with Hugh Jackman and Sutton Foster. And it's not just, another celebrity gossip item. It's a story that seems to have genuinely caught everyone off guard, even people close to them. And it's got the internet buzzing for some pretty interesting reasons.
Right. Okay, so let's unpack this for you. We've been digging into Broadway's secret romance, Jackman and Foster's unscripted love story, which is basically our collection of articles, research, bits and pieces, trying to pull out the key stuff. Our plan today, trace how this whole thing happened, from like super quiet beginnings to this big public reveal, and maybe figure out why this particular story is hitting different, why it's got everyone so curious.
And unexpected is definitely the word. I mean, Hugh Jackman, for literally decades, he was the picture of stability, right? That 27-year marriage to Deborah Lee Furness felt like one of the few constants. So him getting divorced wasn't just a shock. It kind of made people question, well, everything about celebrity relationships.
Totally. And then you've got Sutton Foster, a total Broadway legend, always seems so graceful, so talented. Her marriage to Ted Griffin, the screenwriter, that also looked really solid from the outside. But what our sources are saying is that really quietly, like really under the radar, her own divorce happened way before Hugh's was even announced. No big statements, no drama, just handled privately.
Which is fascinating, isn't it? How these two people, both known for these really long, stable relationships, kind of found their way to each other after separating. The story here, it doesn't start with a big scandal or messy public fight. And that's, I think, a huge part of why it feels different from your typical Hollywood hookup. It immediately sets it apart.
And then, boom, the world sees them. It kicked off with that one photo, right? A bit blurry, Hugh and Sutton just walking, holding hands in London. At first, I think a lot of people were like, okay, they were in the Music Man together, they're friends, no big deal.
Sure, plausible deniability.
Exactly. But then People magazine comes out and says, nope, it's official, they're a couple. And the internet just, well, it went nuts. Kind of a mix of, and also, surprisingly, a lot of people seemed really happy about it.
Oh, absolutely. And that explains why, instantly, everyone started digging up old clips from their Music Man days. Suddenly, every interview they did together, every little behind-the-scenes moment, every red carpet photo op from that show, it was all being re-examined through this new romantic lens. And our sources definitely point out that looking back, there was this connection, this chemistry that seems kind of impossible to miss now.
Hindsight's amazing, isn't it? So when people went back and watched those clips, what specifically were they seeing? What did our sources pick up on? Like, were there actual stolen glances or little inside jokes that suddenly seemed, well, more than friendly?
Yeah, our research pulled up some interesting stuff from people who were actually in the production. There was this one backstage tech mentioned in an interview note we found who said Hugh always made sure Sutton had her specific kind of tea before the show started. And Sutton was apparently always the first one to clock if Hugh seemed even a tiny bit off during rehearsals.
Huh.
Not, big dramatic things. Just this steady, quiet looking out for each other. It went beyond just being professional colleagues. It is that kind of almost domestic comfort level, our research suggests, that really stands out now looking back.
That makes a lot of sense, and it brings up a really important point, right? What makes this so compelling isn't maybe just the surprise romance, but who they are. Hugh and Sutton, they've always come across as pretty down to earth, deliberately not part of the whole crazy celebrity circus. And our analysis kind of suggests this relationship is hitting home because it's not the usual tabloid story.
Exactly. Instead of some messy affair or a really fast rebound, the way this seems to have unfolded so quietly, it kind of connects with people wanting something a bit more real, maybe. In this world where everything feels so manufactured sometimes, the sources really highlight how their low-key approach actually makes it more appealing. It's a contrast to the constant oversharing we usually see. It feels, earned.
Yeah, earned is a good word. And it really makes you think about the timeline, doesn't it? Did this really only start after both their marriages were officially, even if privately, over? Or was something maybe simmering during all those months on stage together, 8 shows a week, that intensity, sharing that emotional space? What did the sources say about, the pressure cooker of doing a big Broadway show? Could that have been the start?
Well, the sources actually suggest something a bit more nuanced. several insiders seem to think it didn't even start as romance at all. The idea is that they really leaned on each other, just as friends, while they were both going through these incredibly tough times privately.
Right.
Yeah, the articles mention things like finding comfort in each other during difficult press days, or just being seen grabbing quiet dinners together way after the rest of the cast had left. Not big showy gestures, but this slow build of sharing tough stuff.
Yeah.
Shared vulnerability. And our research points to that as the real foundation, which honestly makes the whole thing feel more authentic, less like a sudden spark, more like something that grew naturally out of a deep friendship.
And now that it's out there, everyone's watching. We've seen the pictures, right? Sutton leaving Hugh's apartment in New York, hoodie up, grabbing coffee, just looking comfortable, clearly not hiding, but definitely not putting on a show either.
Right.
And crucially, they haven't done the big, flashy, we're official statement or the curated Instagram post. It's almost like they're just letting the world catch up to where they already are, quietly. And, you already see fans dreaming about future duets, maybe another show together, playing lovers for real this time.
And while, some people have made the Bennifer compare, the big reunion romance, our dive really suggests this feels different, softer, maybe. More grounded, like two people who've been through some serious personal stuff and have just found a kind of calm harbor in each other. It points to maybe a different kind of celebrity relationship, one that values privacy and real connection over just making headlines.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it's pretty clear this whole story, from their quiet divorces to that sudden paparazzi photo, it's not just another celeb romance. It kind of shows how real connection, even under that intense spotlight, can sort of gently change the game. We've looked at how these two people, known for these super long marriages, found each other after these incredibly low-key splits.
We talk about that chemistry, looking back at the Music Man that now seems so obvious, and how that one blurry photo basically confirmed what maybe was already happening.
Yeah, and we touched on those insider hints that this really grew out of friendship during tough times, not some big scandal. Their whole quiet, real-feeling approach is such a contrast to the usual drama, right? It feels, like you said, softer, more grounded, even compared to other huge celeb couples.
Definitely.
So this deep dive really leaves us with those big questions everyone's still asking online. Just how long has this actually really been going on? What does this say about love and being vulnerable when you're famous, that they chose to keep it so quiet even after the photos came out? And maybe how does their story change what we expect or even hope for from celebrity relationships now?
Something tells me we've probably only seen the very beginning of this chapter.